Alrighty, see how this goes this morning. See if I can back this big old trailer in. Ooh, she's a long girl, but I need my Evo. Okay, that'll work. Let's go get my Evo. She's definitely pretty light.
Right? That's a nice trailer.
Yeah, it works good.
Now you got a week to put it back together.
I got it from here.
All right.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. You need me, let me know.
Will do. Wow, that's yellow. Can I get your help unloading this car? Quite yellow, huh?
That's fucking sick.
So much work, bro. Fucking crazy.
I've never even seen a yellow Evo in person.
Yeah, it's a pretty...
It's like a... I need to see it in the light.
Yeah.
This is the OEM yellow.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, just be some brakes. It's easy, but I just wanted to go flying.
Yeah.
That'd be shitty. Oh. That's really yellow. So much yellow on this car. Huh? All right, boys, we got the car back to the shop and I am ready and eager to start slapping this thing back together. So it is a little bit unfortunate. We talked about it yesterday after we got done painting this thing, that the single stage on the inside and the bay is a slightly different shade than the exterior of the car. The inside I'm not worried about whatsoever. Factory, the inside is pretty not very nice. So inside is completely fine, not worried whatsoever. My only concern is that when we go to set a fender on, if we put the fender on and it's noticeable that it's a slightly different shade, we really have two options. Option one, I think would be the right way, would be to repaint the entire engine bay, which of course is a big deal, but this car kind of is a big deal. So I would definitely be willing to do that. And then option two would be to just blend and put a little bit of color on the inside of the fender where it meets this right here. So I guess we'll take care of that when the time comes. As you can see, we got a ways to go before I should even worry about that. But let's get this thing in the shop and let's start slapping her together. I want to get like some doors back on it. The shop is just a mess right now, so maybe some doors, fenders, trunk. Just get parts back on the car in general. It's so bright looking. Such a nice bright yellow. I wonder how many years it's gonna take us to get this thing reassembled. Should be done by next year. And now hopefully I can remember how all this goes. Okay. Firewall mat has to go on nearly first. This is most definitely the funnest part of a build. And you're finally able to start, like technically this is the very first piece that we're putting back on the car. And that's exciting. I'm just gonna start off with all of these random pieces that we pulled off the day of the paint job when we decided to spray the inside. So I got a couple clips for the rear body of the car. Okay. I love the sound of a nice fresh clip. Just hold up. Clipping right back into where she belongs. Oh, that's nice. All right, I got this trunk seal here that I need to get on. It is a little bit crusty, for lack of a better word. And not only that, but there's blue paint on it somewhere. So I'm gonna grab a piece of Scotch-Brite and some lacquer thinner, see if I can't get her cleaned up. Should probably not get lacquer thinner on the car. That would not be ideal. If all the parts are going to this level of detail, this is gonna be a 20-year project. That's pretty mint. I don't know if it could be any more mint. I'm sure there's gonna be some parts that we put on in the wrong order and then I have to take them back off. But I'm gonna try to avoid that at all costs, of course. There's just so many pieces, man. Might be a little bit challenging to remember the actual order of assembly. Like for example, the seal has to go on, of course, before the trunk goes on. Otherwise, you couldn't get it around the hinges. Okay, I like that. These guys are probably gonna be a little bit tricky to get in. So these are the vent tubes that connect for the sunroof, I wanna say. And they need to run from inside all the way inside of the pillar. Comes out right there, goes in that hole. And I think it's probably gonna not be fun to get in. You know, I was wrong. Because that was easy. That was easy. Cool. Nice. Sweet. So here we have both of the interior harnesses that run the lengths of the car. Trying to figure out the best way, the best method of cleaning them. I think just a rag and some IPA is gonna be the move for these. They're not dirty by any means. I would just say they're dusty. But we can't have that. There's no way. This takes forever. But I don't really see the point in being in a hurry. What would we be in a hurry for? Get the car done to just get another car and do it all over again? I'd rather just take my time and do it right, you know? Let's start with the antenna harness that runs up top. Okay. Start clipping her back in. Sweet. Now, this guy goes in. So I think the move is going to be just to find an anchor point of like, okay, this piece clearly goes right here. That's for the door. That goes there, and that goes there. All right, the first harness is in. That harness on the passenger side also is all of the water sprayer hoses and whatnot. And then this one contains the cables for the gas and the trunk. It's so, maybe I'm just addicted to cars, but dude, putting nice fresh parts on a nice freshly painted car. I should work at a manufacturing facility. That's how much I enjoy this. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and remove the cables. It's just kind of tangling everything up, so I'll put these cables back in later. Hopefully I can remember where they clip into the harness. Now we can work. So how does this work? This is gonna be trunk. Yep, like that. Clips in like that. Now before I forget, both of these harnesses have two grounds, one on the front or on the back. And we need to go ahead, pull paint off of the chassis so they actually do ground properly. Otherwise we're gonna have some weird electrical gremlins. Now I hate to do this, but it's gotta be done. I think the best way to pull paint for a ground is just this little belt sander here. Something like that. There. Easy does it. So here are the door switches. I'm gonna get these guys on, and I think that you'd call that a door striker. Get those guys back on as well, which may need to be adjusted when we hang the doors, but that's not a big deal, is it? For now, I'm gonna leave them loose. No sense in tightening them if they're not in the right spot. We've made a ton of progress. Both roof harnesses are in, floor harnesses are in, all the deck lid stuff is done. There's a bunch of brackets up top because this car has a sunroof. I'm assuming it's heavier than factory up top. So all that bracket and bracing is done. Some stuff with the firewall is done. And now I think I want to move on to getting a body panel on. I'm kind of eager to get the trunk on. So we can go ahead and get all the wiring in the trunk with the cable, get all that sorted. The first thing I need to do is get the trunk hinges on, and then the torsion bars as well are important to install. There's a couple pieces I do want to put on the trunk first. Some rubber grommets and whatnot. All right. What do we got? We have a lock. Our latch goes on. This IPA works really good to clean this kind of stuff up. Or it's just a little bit dirty, but not that dirty. All right, before the trunk can go on, of course, we need to get these hinges installed. So does it say which side is which? Or does it not matter? Okay, let's go ahead and hang the trunk. Our very first body panel. How exciting. A little bit hairy trying to do it yourself, but we got her done. I'm gonna spend a lot of time on these panel gaps. Really want to make sure they're perfect. So you can adjust the trunk to the hinge and then the hinge to the body, which is quite a bit of adjustment to get this thing perfect. Well, there's like 40 different ways the trunk, well, technically there's 4 different ways the trunk springs can go. So technically speaking, I think this is correct. So pop the trunk. Keep in mind there's no wing on it, so it shouldn't fly up all the way. But it pops, opens a little bit. I think that's correct. It's gonna be hard to say if that's perfect until we get the wing on, but let's go ahead and get the cable in and all the wiring back in place. I am so happy that I decided to paint the inside of this car as well. Very good call. This guy might be tricky. Let's see. Not bad, not bad. What is the wiring even for? There's nothing wiring related on the trunk. Whatever. It was there before, it's there now. Am I dumb? What plugs in? Whatever, I don't know. Okay. We should be good to close the trunk. Does she need an adjustment? That should work. Let's hope. Okay, it works. Some light adjustments and we'll be done. I want to go ahead and hang some doors on this thing. There's 2 different ways we could go about the door assembly because of course we have the wiring, we have the window motor, we have the window itself, we have all that stuff. Either we can assemble it off the car or put it on the car to where it's not going to get scratched or scuffed or anything, and then assemble it from there. So I'm going to start at the back. I feel like that's how you should do body panel alignment anyway, is from the quarter panel to the door, get the door perfect to the quarter, front door perfect to the rear door, fender perfect to the front door. That's how I've done it in the past. I know that's how Val does it as well. At least that's what we've done on the Type R. So I need to find the correct hinges, and then let's start on the driver or the passenger rear door. Just gonna go ahead and unwrap all of this stuff. I know those are mirrors. Sup?
Jamie and I are about ready to go to the Valley Mall
Okay.
for Christmas shopping.
I thought you were gonna come hang doors with me.
Hang doors?
Yeah.
I didn't really know that was in the cards.
Well, never mind. I'll do it myself. Hopefully I don't chip my paint.
You should do that tomorrow.
Nope. I need to see the doors on the car tonight. I need to see how good it looks. Are you in the bathroom?
What?
Are you in the bathroom?
No, I'm walking into Jamie's apartment right now.
You're probably pooping.
No, not pooping.
Well, all right. I'm going to get back to work. Hopefully I don't chip my paint because of you.
What?
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, bye, Hoss.
Bye, Haas. The hinges on the doors aren't really adjustable from what I can see. So it's just the hinge to the body is where all of the adjustment comes from. Also, I noticed, and I actually got this idea from Bob, use a 12-point socket on painted bolts instead of a 6-point, and it greatly reduces the risk of chipping the paint. And it seems like it's working pretty dang good because I just put 4 bolts in with no chip paint. When we painted the body, I put all the bolts back in for the hinges. And honestly, looking back, I could have just left the hinges on the car with them properly aligned, and then there wouldn't be any chance whatsoever of damaging the paint on them. I don't like this. I'm gonna get some help. Okay, you ready, Remy? Do you want to hold the door, or do you want to put the bolts in?
Probably bolts.
Okay.
I feel like I'd fuck up the...
I just hope I put the right hinges on because there's a couple different styles.
Want me to tell you where to go?
Looks like the hinges are proper, right?
Looks like it.
I have a tip of advice. Don't do it this way.
Why?
Keep your hinges on your car when you paint it so you don't have to worry about it.
Oh.
Just before you paint it, put the doors back on, align them, remove the door.
Oh, so I'm not chipping it and shit?
Yeah.
I see.
Tedious work. I feel like that's pretty dang good. We can make minor adjustments later, but for now I like it. Okay, let's start getting this old girl assembled. Doors always take a while because they're just, there's quite a bit of components with them. I don't know why I'm worried about the little rubbers right now. We could probably do that later. So, I think the first thing to get in is going to be the window motor, and then probably the door handle, and then the window. I think wiring could probably be one of the last things. Just gonna thread everything in, and I want to make sure all the bolts are in the proper locations. They have different washers and whatnot built in. I think I remember, but I want to just double check and make sure it's perfect. So I know all those are good. I think I want to do the door handle and the latch. Just got the door handle fully assembled. So we had to put a bolt in up front and a little bit of grease for lube, and she works well. There we go. Before I put the window itself in, we need to get this rear triangle window in. In order to get those in, we need these pieces here. Now, of course, these pieces do not look good whatsoever. I was gonna powder coat them, ink black, which is a high gloss black. But all of this blackout is more of like a satin finish. So these are gonna go Black Jack is called from Prismatic Powders. And it'll be a really, really close match to that blackout that goes on the top of the door, the window frame. So let's get these stripped, sandblasted, and powder coated black. Okay, we got the air pressure pretty low so we don't make a complete mess in the shop. Let's bake her out, see how she looks. That's gonna look very nice. Alrighty, she's all done. That blackjack is the perfect color for these guys. So now we can go ahead and get the window in, get this piece in, the triangle window in this. So now we can go ahead and get the triangle window. So now we can go ahead and get the triangle window in. This guy on, and then the main window itself. Might as well clean this little ugly sticker off of here. Kink Industrial. Interesting name. I really want to do the blackout on this. I have enough. I have this little sheet of tape that would be wide enough for this, but not that. But also I feel like it'd be better to do it before this window goes in. So for now, it's gonna look a little bit ugly and ridiculous, but let's just apply the blackout to that section there. All right, we got that all finished up. I ordered more to do this piece here. And now we can officially go ahead and get this window in. The seal is gonna kind of hold this vinyl in as well. It's tucked up in there. So it's gonna work very nicely long term. So that's gonna go there, and then take our freshly powder coated unit. Oh yeah, look at that match. That's a nice match. That goes there. Now we need a screw, which is this guy. I cannot believe how long a door takes to assemble. I've been on this door for 3 hours. 3 hours on a door. Hoofty, that is OEM. Officially done with one complete door, other than this door seal right there, because I either want to replace or figure out a good way to restore the OEM ones, and then just waiting on the vinyl for that. Other than that, this thing is done, and freaking A, that looks badass. I dig it. Really happy we went with the satin black on these guys. I think that looks much more clean and OEM, and yeah, that's pretty sick. It's just a door, but it's a nice door. It's a beautiful, cool looking door. Now, of course, I don't have time to do a full, complete, another door assembly, but at minimum, if I could hang the door and set the fender on, I just want to see how cool this thing is going to look yellow, if I'm being honest. And I want to see if that bay is going to get repainted, or if it's going to be good. Not good enough, but like, you know, is it going to piss me off? And are we going to respray it? Or am I going to set the fender on and the door on and stand back and take a look and say, wow, that actually looks good. No one is here, so wish me luck that I can hang the door myself. I got some ideas. If I set it on the stool with that blanket there, that should hopefully be high enough to line everything up. Oh yeah, this will work good. Okay, that bolt's in. Swing the door up a skosh. That bolt is going in. Alrighty, that works good. That works very nice. You just need a Harbor Freight stool and a towel. And fender goes on. Damn, that is a lot of yellow. Wowza. I wonder what would look better. A set of light colored wheels, silver, white, or dark. Mag blue, black, graphite gray. That's gonna be a tough one. I don't know why we're worried about wheels right now. We got about 10 years of work to do, but I don't really like how the bay looks compared to the fender, if I'm being completely frank. It's definitely more orange, and if I knew it was gonna look like this while the car was still in the booth, it would have been super easy to fix. Very easy to fix, because the paint was so fresh, it wouldn't have needed any sort of scuff. Literally just shoot on the base and clear and be done. It would have been like an hour if I knew it was this far off. But now, you either need to paint the entire bay with base and clear and screw the single stage, which kind of was my gut intuition when we decided to do the single stage. I'm like, I was a little bit worried, as you guys saw in the video. So either base clear that or go from this lip down and single stage just this inner part of the fender. Both would work. I think both would work fine. I feel like I know the right call to make with the bay. It's just a very tough call, tough decision. Thankfully, it's not a decision I have to make right this second or honestly anytime soon. The entire car can be put back together, of course, minus the bay and the engine and stuff. All the undercarriage things can go back together. The rear end, all the body panels, and we could easily knock out, not easily, but we could knock out the bay later on if that's what I decide to do. It's just tough though, knowing how many hours I already put into this body and wanting it 100% perfect, and it's so damn close. Any of the interior things, the interior not matching is not a big deal. The underside of the hood being a slightly different shade, not a big deal whatsoever. Already verified with the trunk. If I pop the trunk and I'm actually looking for it to be different, you cannot tell. So it's just the only thing is that fender to the bay. That's the only butt match there is, and it's not a good one. Also, like I said, we could just take that jam on the fender, blow in some single stage right there, which technically I guess we could try that first. I would just really hate to do that and not like that and then have to repaint the fenders too. So it's tough, man. I really wanted it perfect, and it's honestly unmotivating me right now to continue working on this thing, knowing how many hours and much time, money, and just hours in general we already put into this car, knowing that we did not get the outcome that we wanted. I'm just gonna spend the rest of the night getting stuff cleaned up for tomorrow. All these seals take forever to freaking clean. And yeah, I just want to get here bright and early tomorrow, get all the doors back on, fully assembled, everything done. The window that I got in tonight, I'm not really liking. It's a little bit pitted, and I don't know if that's something that I did, or maybe when me and Val were working on that quarter panel, we're grinding, and it shot sparks on that window. That would definitely do it. Thankfully, we got a parts car, so I need to check that window out tomorrow when it's light outside. And if it's in better condition than ours, we'll go ahead and swap it, which is pretty easy to do. So not too worried about that. And yeah, tomorrow we should definitely be able to get all the doors on, fully assembled, if I can get all the stuff cleaned up tonight. That's the time-consuming part. And yeah, fenders could go back on. I do need to find some of that like paint, it's not PPF, but like the blue colored protectant to get this car covered, just so when we're messing around working on it, we don't accidentally scratch a panel. That would be miserable. So if you know where to find that, let me know. Funny thought, or I guess funny memory. When I first started working on this build, I was actually gonna build it to give it away to one of you guys. But now that I'm this freaking deep into it, I'm not so sure this car is ever even gonna leave the shop to let alone get driven. Funny how the brain works. I always try to level up with all the builds. I do sometimes wonder if there's ever gonna be a point where there's nothing else to level up on with a car build. Like, are we ever gonna get to the point where everything is just so perfect and done to perfection, like true actual perfection, that we can't get any better? I don't know. I don't think that's possible. Something could always be better.